net domestic product. Now, if we add the net factor income from abroad to the gross domestic product, we arrive at gross national product. From the gross national product, if we deduct depreciation, we arrive at the net national product. So, given the net factor income from abroad and depreciation, we can find out the net domestic product, gross national product, and net national product from the gross domestic product. So first, we'll discuss about the concept of gross domestic product. Now, this gross domestic product is defined as the market value of all final goods and services produced within a country in a given period of time. So please remember this definition. This is the market value of all final goods and services produced within a country in a given period of time. What are the different types of goods and services produced within a country? And taking the goods and services produced within the country will take only the final goods and services, not the intermediate goods and services. Already yesterday we discussed what the difference between the final good and intermediate good. Final good or services is meant for the consumption purpose. Intermediate goods, they are required for further production, not for consumption. Now, we have to take the market value of all the final goods and services produced. So, in estimating the GDP, first we have to take what are different final goods and services produced within a country. Within a country, why we are taking? We are taking the concept of domestic. Since we are taking the concept of domestic, that's why we say all the final goods and services produced within a country constitute the domestic product. What is the market value of all final goods and services? What is the meaning of the market value? Why we require the concept of market value? Is there any goods and services produced which are not coming to the market or which do not have any market value? If the goods and services produced and do not have any market value, will you take it under the concept of GDP? That we'll discuss here. Now first, what is the concept of market value? Is anybody? What we mean by the market value? Let us say, please. Yes, please.
Sir, cost of that goods and services in the world market?
Not cost of goods and services. Market value. Value in the market. So when we say cost, cost is something different from the value in the market. I am taking a very simple example. The t-shirt you are wearing. What is the value in the market? Value in the market, we mean how much you are paying for that. Let us assume you are paying 1000 rupees for the t-shirt you are wearing. This is the value in the market, how much you are paying for that. Or in other words, we can say, what is the price of the product in the market. But when we say cost, cost is different from the price in the market. What we mean by cost, already we discussed in chapter 13 last semester. What is the cost? How simply we can express the cost of a product. Cost constitutes the price paid to all factors of production used in the production process to produce a commodity. When you produce a commodity, you require raw materials. How much you are paying for the raw materials? You are engaging labor. How much wage you are paying to the labor? You require capital. How much interest you are paying to the capital? And as the organizer or entrepreneur, how much profit you keep to organize or to coordinate the land, labor and capital. So you will add the rent you pay for land, wage you pay for labor, interest you pay for capital, and profit you pay for organization or entrepreneur. What you arrive at, this is the cost. But the price you are paying in the market is not equal to cost. Usually, this is more than the cost. So why this is more than the cost, and what are the other components included in the cost of production, so that market price is usually higher than the cost of production. Not necessarily market price is always higher than the cost of production. Market price at times is lower than the cost of production. Why this is so? When we are taking the cost of production, we say this is the value of all final goods and services at factor cost. Factor cost. So I am taking the two concepts. One is the factor cost, and second is the we say the market prices. I am coming one is the factor cost. Factor cost we mean the sum of all factor prices. While producing the commodity, you are using land, you are using labor, you are using capital, and you are using the organization or the entrepreneur. These are the four factors of production. Now, how much price you are paying to each factor? This is the factor cost. Land, you are paying rent. Labor, you are paying wage. Capital, you are paying the interest. And organization, you are paying the profit. If you add all these, the sum of all these is what we say, this is the factor cost. So those who are coming from the village, those who are any idea about the cultivation, you will find when you are selling the paddy, how much price you are receiving is not the same. The price you are paying for purchasing the paddy. When you are paying the price to purchase the paddy, this is slightly higher than how much you are receiving in selling the paddy as a farmer. Why this happens? So when any person is purchasing the price or purchasing the paddy, or the farmer is selling the paddy, what farmer is doing? Farmer is only taking into account how much price he is paying towards the 4 factors of production: land, labor, capital, and gas. He is adding the rent, wage, interest, and profit. How much is the total? This is the factor cost. He is only taking into account this factor cost. But when a product is coming into the market, what is happening? With the factor cost, your taxes has been added, direct and indirect taxes, and if a commodity is eligible to get subsidy from the government, then subsidy is deducted. Tax is added, subsidy is deducted. So that is what we say the market price. So market price is equal to factor cost plus tax, your sales tax, excise duty, VAT, GST, income tax, whatever you say, how much taxes the seller is paying, minus how much subsidy the seller is receiving from the government. Right now, you have observed that the market price of almost all except a few e-bikes, electronic bikes, is less than the factor cost. Market price is less than the factor cost. Why? Because in some cities or some states like Delhi, Gujarat, mostly these 2 states, where the buyer of electronic vehicles, they are getting subsidy announced by Government of India as well as the state governments. And subsidy to the extent of roughly, if we add it together, from 25,000 to 30,000 per vehicle, they are getting. So in that event, if the factor cost is 1 lakh rupees and they're getting a subsidy of 25,000, so actually how much price the buyer is paying? 75,000. So this is the market price. So market price is the factor cost plus tax minus subsidy. Yeah? Or any doubt on that? So what is the market value? What is the factor cost? Yes, am I clear to you? Or any doubt?
No, sir, no doubt.
Don't confuse out the cost and price. Price what the buyer is paying in the market, demand and supply are operating, and price is determined. But cost is something different. Cost, how much is paid to the factors of production. If there is surplus, price is falling, so price may be less than the cost of production, where the producer is incurring loss. When there is surplus in the market, when there is shortage in market, demand is more, supply is less, price is going up, there is excess profit for the producer to get. So the cost and the market price are 2 different things. Now, while discussing the GDP, we'll take only the market price. Now, why we will take the market price? We say this is the value of all final goods and services produced. Let us assume one hypothetical economy. Hypothetical economy producing rice, producing cloth, producing your, let us say, we have taken vegetables, producing toothpaste, producing steel utensils. Assume these 5 items has been produced. Let us say rice produced 100 kg, cloth let us say 100 meter, vegetables produced 50 kg, toothpaste let us say 100 numbers, steel utensils let us say this is 100 numbers. Now these 5 items has been produced in the economy. How we will add the 5 items? If we add, then we can say what is the GDP. How will add these 5? These 5 products, they have been represented through different units. Rice kg, cloth meter, toothpaste numbers. So you cannot add kg with the meter, meter with the number. So how you will get the value or get the, we can say value of all the 5 commodities? Unless all the commodities they are expressed in some common unit. How will you express that? We can express this in the common unit, and common unit is what we say this is the market value. How will find out the market value? Market value, how much is produced multiplied by what is the price in the market or market price. Let us say rice is 40 rupees per kg. So what is the market value of rice? 100 multiplied by 40. So this will be 4,000. Let us say cloth meter is 100 rupees per meter. What is the market value? This will be 10,000. Vegetables, let us say this is 50 rupees per kg. Market value 2,500. Toothpaste, let us say 10 rupees per unit. So we have 1,000. Steel utensils, let us say this is now 2,200 per unit. We have now 20,000. Now what we are doing? We are expressing the value of all goods and services produced in terms of money. Rice is expressed from kg to money, and that is the value in the market. So what we are doing? We are multiplying the total product produced with their market price. What we arrive at, this is the market value of each product. Now if we add it, how much we are getting? 20,000 plus 10,000, 30,000 plus 4,000, 34,000 plus 1,000, 35,000 plus 2,500, 37,500. So this 37,500 is the market value of all goods and services produced within a country or within one geographical region, geographical area, estimated at market prices, not factor cost. So this 37,500 is the GDP of particular hypothetical economy. So why we are taking the market value? What is the basic reason? To add the value of all goods and services, and for that we are taking the market price into consideration. We are multiplying the quantity produced with the market price for each commodity, getting the market value of that commodity, and adding the market value for all the commodities produced. What we arrive at, this is the GDP. Any question on that?
Sir, I wish to clarify something.
Please, Samjati, tell me.
Sir, I wanted to know that we are considering price and cost same or different.
I told you price and cost are two different things.
Sir, that is value, sir.
So value, when we say value, always we expressed in some common unit. We say value of a commodity. I will express the value of a commodity. Yesterday I told you, when we take value in economics, always we take the exchange value. How much goods and services is exchanged against one commodity? This is the value of the commodity. If I say one pen is exchanged against 4 pencils, so I say value of one pen is equal to 4 pencils. Clear? So
Yes, sir, I got it.
Okay. Now, do we right now have in the barter economy? We are not in the barter economy. We are in the money economy. So every exchange is taking place in the economy is for money. Here, what we say here, the factor cost I told. The farmer is selling the, let us say, paddy. The farmer is selling the paddy at which price, which the value? At factor cost. He is only taking into account how much he is paying for raw materials, how much wage he is paying, how much interest he is paying, what is the profit he is keeping for himself. Adding all these, he is selling at that price. Let us say 1 quintal is 1 quintal of paddy. The farmer is estimating the total payment made to all factors of production. Let us say this is now 4,000 rupees. Assume this is per quintal. Now this is the factor cost. 4,000 rupees is the factor cost. But when it is coming to the market, what is happening? Tax is added. Let us say the seller or the wholesaler will take, let us say, paying 5,000 as tax. But no subsidy is there. Subsidy is 0. So what is the value of this 1 quintal of rice to the consumer? Consumer is paying 4,000 plus 500, 4,500. So this 4,500 is the market price. So cost and price are two different things. When we say value, we say market value. That means how much is exchanged against the price prevailing in the market. Because in a money economy, what the producer is doing, the farmer is selling the rice in terms of rupee or getting the rupee. The consumer is paying the rupee and taking the product. So money is now acting as the medium of exchange, and we are living in an era or in a situation where there is no barter terms of trade. So we take money to express the value of a commodity. Money is taken as the unit to express the value of the commodity. And which price we are taking to express that? We are taking the market price, not the factor cost. Somjati, any further question?
No, sir, clear.
Okay. Now, we take the market value. Why we take the market value? Because we have to aggregate all the goods and services produced, and all the goods and services produced in an economy is expressed in different units. They are not expressed in same unit. So, in order to sum all the goods and services produced, we have to convert it into the same unit. And we can convert each goods and services produced to a money value. If we express everything in terms of money, then we can easily add it up. Because we have expressed every commodity produced in the economy in terms of money. How we express in terms of money? from the concept of the GDP. So can you cite some examples which are not coming into the market? Okay, so right now I am audible to you?
Yes, sir, audible.
Okay, so for just few seconds before you lost some network problem was there, you might not be able to get my voice. So we say if a commodity do not have the market value, that means if a commodity cannot be bought and sold in the market, this commodity is excluded, or this service, goods and services, they are excluded from the GDP. GDP does not constitute the goods and services produced, but they are not entering into the market for bought and sold. If they are not coming into the market, buyers are not purchasing it, or it will not be sold in the market, then these commodities, they are not in the purview of the GDP. I am just citing one example. Let us say you have a kitchen garden in your house. At the top of the roof, you are planting some vegetables. Assume. Now, let us say you are getting 1 kg of brinjal from your kitchen garden. So, do you think that this 1 kg of brinjal you are getting from kitchen garden has a market value? Or is it entering into the market? Are you purchasing it from the market? The 1 kg of brinjal you are getting from your kitchen garden, are you purchasing in the market, giving price for that? If 1 kg of brinjal in the market cost, or you say the price is 40 rupees per kg, so are you paying 40 rupees here? What you are getting from your kitchen garden, or your garden in front of your, or at the back of your house? Are you paying anything for that?
No, sir.
No, sir.
You are not paying anything for that. Why you are not paying anything for that? Because it is not sold in the market. So the commodity produced by the farmer itself and consumed it is not coming under the GDP. The farmer is producing some commodity. Let us say the farmer is producing 100 quintal of rice. Out of the 100 quintal, it is keeping 5 quintal for self-consumption over the years. So, how much is going into the market? 95 quintal. So, GDP includes these 95 quintal, not 100 quintal, how much the farmer is producing. Because the 95 quintals have a market value. But the 5 quintals the farmer is keeping for self-consumption is not entering into the market, do not possess a market value. So these 5 quintals will not be the part of the GDP during a given year. Take the case of your household cooking. Your mother is cooking or doing some household activities. For these household activities, are you paying something to your mother? Are you paying something to your mother?
No, sir.
or your mother has not been paid for that. But just think of, if your mother is working in a 5-star hotel as the chief of cook, head chef, she will be paid regular salary. So same activities in the kitchen of your house and the kitchen in the 5-star hotel, doing the same activity, but for which he is or she is being remunerated. She is getting the wage, she is getting the salary, working in the hotel, not working in your home. So the household activities undertaken by any household members is not coming into the market and does not come any activity under the purview of the GDP. Is this clear or any doubt? So if we go to the last point, the GDP excludes most items that are produced and consumed at home and therefore never enter the marketplace. The goods and services produced as well as consumed but not coming to the entering into the market are excluded from the GDP. You might be asked the questions like this. A farmer produces wheat worth 1,50,000. Out of this, he sells 1,25,000 worth of wheat to the individuals for their consumption, and the rest, wheat worth of 25,000 for his own consumption. How much of the farmer's production will be included as wheat in GDP? We say here, wheat coming into the marketplace is a part of the GDP. But wheat for self-consumption is not coming into the market. You are producing, you are consuming. You are not purchasing anything for that, or nor you are getting any price for that. So this amount is not a part of GDP. So in this example, how much worth of wheat is coming to the marketplace? Wheat worth of 1,25,000. So wheat produced to the extent of or worth 1,25,000 is a part of the GDP. And wheat worth 25,000 kept for self-consumption is not a part of GDP. So what is excluded from GDP on the basis of market value? The commodities which or services which are not coming into the market, which is not bought and sold in the market, they are excluded from the GDP. Any question on this? What is the market value? Why we require the market value? Which are the commodities on the basis of market value are excluded from GDP? I cited the examples. The services rendered by your father to teach you. This is not included in GDP. The value of the service is not included in GDP. But if your father is teaching the students in terms of money, the father has a coaching center, teaching the students and getting the tuition fees, then that service will be considered under GDP. But the time your father is spending for your teaching, to teach you, is not a part of GDP. So any good and services not entering into the market are outside the concept or scope of GDP. So this is the concept of the market value. Now, after discussing market value, we'll go to discuss what is the meaning of all. Market value of all final goods and services. What is the meaning of all? When we say all refers to all the goods and services produced in the economy and are sold legally in the markets. Produced legally in the market and sold legally in the market. All illegal activities, either production or selling, they are outside the scope of gross domestic product. Your illegal drugs, illegal medicines, gambling was service. So these are not legally acceptable in most of the countries. Therefore, these are outside the scope of GDP. While computing the GDP, we cannot take the value of illegal drugs produced inside the country. But if the drug is legal, then the value of all legal drugs is under the purview of GDP. In some countries, some drug is legal. In some countries, the same drug is illegal. So, the countries where the same drug is illegal, while estimating the GDP, will not take into account the type of drugs. But the countries where it is illegal, these drugs are included under the concept of gross domestic product. So, this is how we will define the concept of all. Any question on that? All means anything that is produced legally, produced and sold. Bought and sold in a legal manner, not in the illegal manner. Commodities bought and sold in the market has the legal sanctions behind that, not illegally. This is the concept of all. After discussing all, then we'll come to the final. What is the meaning of final? Already we discussed yesterday what is the final goods, what is the intermediate goods. While discussing the gross domestic product, we'll take only the final goods. Final goods means goods and services produced for final consumption, for consumption purpose only, not for further production. I cited the example, the bread. If the household is purchasing bread, so that bread is meant for final consumption, because you are purchasing bread from the market to consume it. But when a fast food center is taking that, this is not the final good for the fast food center. Rather, this acts as the intermediate product. Intermediate product, we mean which helps for further production. So out of that bread, what the fast food center is doing? Preparing the sandwich. So sandwich is the final commodity, not the bread. Now, if we will not take the final goods, then there is the mistake of double counting. Because in the sandwich, when we are taking the market price of sandwich, the market price of sandwich includes the price of bread, how much price the fast food center is giving in getting bread. This price is already included in the price of sandwich. So if you take the price of bread again, so that is the mistake of double counting. So in order to avoid the problem of double counting, only the final goods and services is taken under the GDP. Any doubt on that? So here, there is one exception to this. What is that exception? We can take the intermediate goods under GDP if that intermediate good is produced during a year and is not able to be sold in that year. Produced, commodity produced, but not being sold. We say this is the inventory. If the intermediate goods are coming into the inventory during a given period, then the value, market value of the inventory is a part of the GDP. Two things here. One is good produced and sold. If all the goods have been produced and sold, then the price or market value of all the goods produced is the part of GDP. But the intermediate products are not part of GDP because of the double counting. But if an intermediate product is produced and not sold, the bread example I cited, if the bread worth of, let us say, 1,000 rupees is purchased by your fast food center. What the fast food center is doing? So from 1,000 bread, it is converting it into the sandwich and selling it with 2,000. So the price of 2,000 of sandwich contains the 1,000 rupees, which is the value of the intermediates. But let us assume the bread worth of 500 rupees is produced during a year but not able to be sold. If we take bread as the intermediate product, this intermediate product is being produced, but this intermediate product is not being sold. If it is not being sold, can you say there is the question of double counting? If the bread is sold for production of sandwich, so there is the possibility of double counting. If the bread is produced but not sold to the fast food center, remaining in the Godam, can you say there is the possibility of double counting in this case?
No, sir.
No, sir.
There is no possibility of double counting. So the goods produced but not being sold during a given period, or we can say all the intermediate products produced but not sold, is a part of GDP for that year. Let us say the MRF is manufacturing tires, 1,000 tires. Who are using the 1,000 tires? Let us say this is for the four-wheelers. So tire is now considered as the intermediate product. You are using the tire only with the four-wheelers. Only the four-wheeler manufacturers, they are purchasing tire for producing the four-wheelers. So if all the 1,000 tires is being sold during a year produced by MRF, then the value of these 1000 tires will not be taken into the GDP for that year, because the producer producing four-wheelers has already included the value of tires in the price of four-wheeler. If we take the value of tires separately, then there will be double counting. But assume out of this 1900 tires have been sold, rest 100 tires not being sold, and in the inventory of or in the Godam of MRM. So what is happening? The value of this 100 tires is not being in any product. It has a separate value. It is not used at that time as the intermediate product. So the value of these 100 tires remaining in the Godam or inventory will be a part of the domestic product. Is this clear or any doubt? Question will be asked. Some inventories will be there, then what will happen? A farmer sells 50,000 of wheat to individuals who take them home to eat, and 75,000 of wheat to a company that uses them to produce flour. So the farmer is producing wheat worth 1,25,000, selling a part to households or individuals, that part worth 50,000, and the rest part to the producer who is producing the wheat flour. So how much of the farmer's sales will be included as wheat in GDP? How much of wheat will be included in the GDP for that year? So here you have to identify which is the final consumption, which is the intermediate consumption. Please, yes? Yes, please.
So 50,000.
50,000. Why 50,000? Because 50,000 is the final consumption, and 75,000 worth of wheat which is sold to a producer for producing wheat flour is the intermediate product. While selling the wheat flour, the producer takes into account the 75,000. This is 75,000 is the raw material produced by the wheat flour company. So in calculating the price of wheat flour, it is taking into account the price of the raw material. So in order to avoid the double counting, the value of wheat worth 75,000 will not be a part of GDP. In the examination, you might be asked this type of questions, 2 marks. And you have to answer why you should not take 75,000 as a part of the GDP. Now coming to goods and services. What we mean by goods, what we mean by services. Goods, we mean any tangible commodities. What services are intangible. What is the difference between tangible and intangible? Tangible commodities which you can see, which you can touch, which you can shift from one place to other place. These are the tangible commodities. Intangible commodities which you cannot see, which you cannot shift from one place to other, but only you can feel. And the more important distinction between goods and services are tangible and intangible, that is the separation of ownership. Let us say one pen is there in your pocket. Who is the owner of that pen? You are the owner of that pen. And you can shift or you can give this pen to another person. Who possesses that pen is the owner of that pen. Here ownership of pen is changed from one person to another person. When you are selling your second-hand bike, what is happening to ownership? Ownership is changed. But can you change the ownership of the labor, ownership of the service? I am delivering the lecture. This is a service. Can you separate this service from me? Is it
No, sir.
possible? It's not possible. So the major distinction between the goods and services, so in case of goods, the ownership of goods can be changed. But the ownership of the service cannot be changed. Here, when you say GDP, GDP includes both the tangibles, we say the goods, and services that are intangible. The fees you are paying to the doctor, the fees you are paying to the lawyer, the fees you are paying for getting your coaching center, the fees you are paying, the fees you are paying for dry cleaning, for cutting your hair, or repairing your cell phones, these are all coming under the concept of services. So GDP includes both goods and services, and commonly we utilize the term commodities. When we say commodities, commodities includes both goods and services. Now, after discussing this, then we'll go to the term produced, final goods and services produced. What we mean by produced? We mean produced during the given time period. Usually, the GDP is calculated for a year. We say what is the GDP for India during one financial year, from April to March. Although estimated quarterly, but usually we express it for 1 year. So, how much goods and services produced during a year, or what we say, the currently produced goods and services. This is the part of the GDP, not goods and services produced in the past. Goods and services produced in the past is not the GDP of this year. That means purchase and selling of second-hand commodities is not a part of GDP. A house might have been constructed 10 years ago. This has been again resold in 2020. So the value, market value of the house constructed in 2010 has already been taken in the GDP for 2010. But when it is resold in 2020, the market value of that house in 2020 is not a part of GDP for 2020. So only we are taking the value of currently produced goods and services, not goods and services produced in the past. One question on that. Ganesh lived in a house that was newly constructed in 2010, for which he paid 20 lakh rupees. In 2016, he sold the house for 30 lakhs. What effect does this transaction have on the GDP for 2016? It is sold in 2016 for 30 lakhs. But when we are thinking about including it in GDP for 2016, we have to see whether it has been produced during 2016 or not. So here, the good has been, the house has been constructed in 2010, not in 2016. So since the house is not currently constructed, so this is not a part of the GDP for 2016. But one exception is there. What is that exception? That I told about the inventory. Goods produced within a year what has not been sold. Final commodities produced within a year what has not been sold during that year and coming into the inventory of the other year is a part of the GDP for that year, although not produced in that year. Let us say your any two-wheeler manufacturing company produces, let us say 1,000 motorbikes during 2019. 900 motorbikes has been sold in 2019. 100 remain in the Godam. This 100 is the inventory. So, do you think that this 100 has a market value during 2019 because it not been bought and sold in 2019? This 100 which are in the inventory has not been included in the GDP of 2019. So, since these 100 are in inventory and not sold in 2019, are not part of 2019 GDP, but this 100 is coming into 2020 and bought and sold in 2020, although produced in 2019, but coming to the market and has a market value in 2020. So this inventory will be included in the GDP of 2020, although this is not produced in 2020. Is it clear? So rest two things, the country, the given time period and within a country, that we'll discuss in the next class. So please go through the book, and all these I have taken from your book only, and this is a very nice discussion is going on in your book. Please go through the book. If you find any difficulty, only 1.5 page will be there. So if you face any difficulty, then tell me. Okay, thank you all.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.